Hey, everybody. We are doing our check in on tonight. We're sorry about last night that we had to end early, but tonight we're not going to be up here long either, but we're here and we want to make sure that everybody is doing okay. Our schedule for next week, we will be up here Saturday morning. I have already created the link. It will be at 11 a.m., guys. So, what I want to say to you today is listen, live moment by moment, make memories, don't walk in confusion. Don't walk in conflict. Don't allow people to take you out of your character. Live by example. You are responsible for you, no one else but you. You are the one who is going to have to answer at the gate. You are the one that is going to have to show that you're not the same person. Because we all know in the past, hmm, we are quick to wrath, slow to hear, quick to speak. We're not doing that in this
Oh
season.
yeah, I wouldn't hear nothing.
That part. In this season, we are not doing that. In this season, we are not going to delay what we have worked so hard for. Okay? So, if our assignment see us acting unruly, guess what's going to happen? It's going to follow in our footsteps or it's going to get off course. We're not going to be led by distractions in this season. I'm speaking to myself too. We will not be led by distractions in this season. Guys, once again, we're just up here to do the check in. I'm going to let Coco have some words and then she's going to check her inbox and see if there is any testimonies, any statements. I told y'all could write her on yesterday. Also, I want to give you a quick um, announcement. On April 28th, I will be at T's Hair Salon. She is doing her fashion show, guys, and I am one of the vendors. If my sister come down, we will share a table. But I'm excited about T. She celebrated 25 years last year, and she is doing her annual, well, her spring, I want to say her spring fashion show. So y'all can follow her at Lena J's on Facebook. Follow Lena J's on Facebook for more updates. If you all are in the Dinwoody area, come out. Hey Simone, it's been a
Hey,
minute. Come out, come out, come out, come out, and let's enjoy the day together. We're gonna have a good time on that day. I am so excited about what God is going to do. So with that being said, here is my sister, Coco.
first off, hey everybody. I hope everybody had a good day today. For the majority of my day, it went well. Um, of course, I'm winding down. I've kind of worked most of the evening, so this is winding down time for me. Um, I did a lot of studying, kind of off and on. Like I said, because I was working, but I was studying at the same time. And funny how it's funny how God do stuff. And I'm constantly telling him right here lately that he got jokes.
First off, hey
Um,
everybody. Kind of work.
and one thing about it is I was studying, and I just posted it right before the show started. I was studying earlier tonight, and I heard him. I kept hearing, "Don't take grace for granted," and and I think that a lot of people do that, and they may do it unaware that you take His grace and mercy for granted. Trust me, grace has a limit.
Yes, it does.
And a lot of people think that it doesn't, but grace has a limit. Um, and your grace can run out.
Hey
Uh,
Troy.
One thing about it is, he give you grace for certain things, and it's like you have a measure of grace, just like you have a measure of faith, and you got a measure of grace. So I'm just saying, um, don't take your grace for granted. Um, you know, I watched. Somebody sent me this young lady's interview where she was on somebody's podcast, and the podcast host kept questioning the girl about her faith, and it's just the way she kept coming at her about her faith during the whole entire interview. And she was like, "Don't you feel like you're being brainwashed because you talk about the Bible so much, and you say the Bible this, the Bible that." And um, the girl kept telling her, "Hey, Fred."
Hey,
She was like, "No." She was like, "No, I don't feel like I'm being brainwashed." She said, "I believe the Bible for exactly what it says it is. If God said it, I trust it." And I mean, when I tell you this podcast host just kept going into her and kept going into her, honey, that spirit that was in that podcast host got so mad because that girl would not stop talking about the word. She said, "You can say what you want to say. You brought me on your show. So let me make it very clear. I just told you that I take the Bible for exactly what it is." And when her voice changed and you could hear the authority in her rise up, the podcast host cut the show. And so I was just sitting there watching and watching and watching. And I was just like, it's funny that, um, I mean, she did this nationally because this is a podcast host that I may make plenty money from her shows. I mean, she in court over shows that she's had because of what she said about people on her shows. That's how bad it is. But um, I was so proud of the young lady because the young lady, she's in the music industry. And she said, "I'm not where I want to be, but I believe and I'm trusting God to help me grow into the woman that He wants me." Um, and the podcast host said, "Well, what if you already that woman?" And she said, "Because I'm not." She said, "I know I'm not." She said, "The reason why I'm not, I don't do everything that He tells me to do. I haven't done everything that He's wanted me to do." She said, "But I'm striving every day to make it there. But I know that right now I currently am not." And so even through everything that the podcast host tried, she held her cool. She didn't come out her character,
I love it.
but she put her in her place about testing her faith.
I love it.
So it was just one of them things where I was just like, you know what? I said, this ain't ironic, this ain't funny. Because people have tried and tried and tried to make me want to revert and try to make me go backwards to try to make that old Coco come out. I haven't given them the
Amen.
energy to do so.
That's
And
right.
it's just like, it's just like one of those things where at the end of the day, you have to know that you know that you know.
That's right.
And I know that He has done a good work. And I know His work ain't finished.
That's right.
So that's what I stand on. Is that I know He's doing a good work and the work ain't never.
That's right.
So, I if I could commemorate her and tell her kudos and high five it, she got all the high fives from me because she stood on that thing and did not move. And that's how we have to be. When somebody come to you about what you believe in, if you shaky in it, they're gonna test you in it.
That's right.
And so you have to know that you know that you know that this is what you about. It don't matter, it don't change. Just like there was this I've been getting so many different interviews sent to me today because people have wanted my opinion on these interviews. There was another one where the lady she's at a so-called Christian academy school, and
So called.
she got fired for her Christian beliefs at a Christian school.
That's deep.
And so I was, I was very interested in why she got fired in Christian beliefs at a Christian school. Well, when you watch the interview, the people at the school wanted her to lie, and she refused to lie. They wanted her to lie to the parents, um, and say that your child is not identifying themselves as this. So we go back to, this whole gender identity thing. And the dean of the school wanted this lady to lie, and she said, "No, I'm not gonna lie. If the child was born a male, that's what I'm gonna call it. I'm not gonna call him what he not." And
Mhm.
so because she refused to do that, they fired her.
Mhm.
And it's something when here we go with the compromise that this is supposed to be a Christian academy, but they're compromising who they are and the beliefs that they claim they stand on,
Mhm.
try to, you know,
You know,
accommodate
it's
accommodate somebody else's feelings.
it's
Um,
funny you said that because there are so many that are out there
yeah,
that are walking as counterfeits and claiming that they believe in Christ and they are Christians and all this stuff. I
right.
was watching and I want to say it's a podcast, but in these podcasts, a lot of time they're spilling all the tea, and
Yeah,
they were talking about some of the celebrities that they grew up as Christians, but they're no longer Christians.
yeah,
And you also got to be careful when they're talking about they are, how are they putting it? They are multi it's a new word. They are multi something. And you would think that it means they believe in all these different faiths, but they're basically saying they either a Satanist or they are they're a Satanist or they are it's another one. I can't think of it right now and it may come back to me. But they don't believe in God. Okay,
yeah,
they believing in other guys. So we got to be careful with these new age, new modern terms that are coming out now, and know what people are actually serving. So the word tell you to try the spirit by the spirit to see if it be of God, and we really got to stop compromising the
yeah.
word.
She refused to compromise, and in her refusal, it cost her her job. Um,
Hmm.
you know, of course they put her on. I mean, she made it all the way to the news about it, and she got a lawyer. Uh,
Amen.
so um, I've heard the term. What did the young lady call herself today? I'm no longer a Christian, but I'm spiritual, and I'm
Thanks for
also
talking.
and I'm also multi-dimensional. Is what she
That's mhm.
is how she referred to it.
Mhm.
And in my mind, when you say multi-dimensional, first of all, do you know what a dimension is?
That part.
Um, and I was just like, okay, listening as
It
I always
it
do.
might be Simone, but it's a lot with it. I
Yeah.
gotta find the podcast again.
Um, and I was just like, okay. So I hear a lot of these people saying that they're no longer Christians; they're just spiritual.
Hmm.
Um, and if that's what you want to call yourself, by all means, I don't.
They are basically believing in Satan. They're worshiping
That's
Satan
not that's
in
not
so
that
many
word.
ways.
Um,
Um,
yeah, it's not polytheism. It's
no.
some whole other stuff. Um,
But even with some of these, as much as I love TP shows, okay, all of his movies, I love them. I watch them. But there's a lot with him that is coming out in this season. And I'm like,
that's a lot.
dang.
That's a lot.
Why?
That's a lot coming out about a lot of people.
Yes, yes, people are now tired of the foolishness and they are spilling it all. So I don't know what to say in this. I don't know what to say,
I
but we're not
mean,
even gonna focus on that.
but this is the thing though. This is we are in the hour and
Mm-hmm.
the season of exposure.
Yes, it is.
So, we
Me too, Simone.
um we are in the hour and the season of exposure. And it's just like if people not careful, you
Mm-hmm.
know, um I've been doing a lot of studying. And in my study time, I've been studying certain things because of where I am in my walk and because of where I am, um, but what I have to do as far as ministry is concerned. And so, um, one of the things that I have found right here lately is let's talk about, um, and we're going to go there a little bit tonight, but let's talk about all of these folks um, claiming to be all of these deliverance folk.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Let me make one thing real clear. First of all, if you watch any movies that have been put out that are good versus evil, and they talk about demons and parts of the Bible, I need you to pay attention to the movies that you watch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It's not just because of what's happening in the movie, but the movie is actually telling you a whole lot. And if you pay attention to it, you'll get it. So this is the thing right here. Um, if you consider yourself to be a person that does deliverance, first of all, you better make sure you straight
That part.
before you go into that deliverance service. Reason being, if you are the person that's supposed to be trying to deliver somebody else, but
Hmm.
you got sin, that demon gonna call it out,
That's right.
and it's gonna put all your stuff on Front Street.
Mm-hmm.
Hence the reason it's gonna laugh in your face
Mm-hmm.
and be like, "Who you think you casting out?
You ain't got no power.
You got to cast out your own crap,"
Mm-hmm.
and that's how it's gonna be. So you have to be real careful when you talk about, "Oh, I'm a person that walks in deliverance, da 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 da," but you got your own isms and schisms.
That's right.
And so, um, you have to know how to work deliverance too,
Mm-hmm.
because if you're not careful and the wrong people are still in the building, when it does come out, if
Mm-hmm.
it comes out, it's gonna look for a new place to go.
That's right.
And so you have to be real careful about what you do and how you do it. You
That's
need to
right.
get all the children out of the building unless the child is being delivered.
Mm-hmm.
All the children need to be taken out of the room because
That's
they
right.
don't need to be in the building. Period. And if you are a person that don't have the Holy Ghost, you don't need to be sitting in the building either. Okay?
And if
Because
you fearful of it, you don't need to be in the
yeah, you
building.
don't need to be in there either. So it's a lot behind it. I'm telling you, I've been bombarded all day with stuff as I'm working.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of stuff that's behind it. Am I saying that I got it all down pat and I know everything? No, but I know enough to
Mm-hmm.
try to help you help yourself.
That's right.
Okay. And so, right, that part right there.
But who are you exactly?
Because I watched a show that somebody told me to watch, and the little imp looked at the person and laughed as soon as they walked in the room.
Mm.
They
And
laughed. They
they
laughed.
should have known it was gonna be on them with an imp.
Listen, right, like it was, but it was two different pastors that walked in the room.
Mm.
One of the pastors it looked at and asked him why he was there. Why they send you? That's what he said. Why I send you? And then
Mm-mm.
the other one, as he was walking in the room, it was just chuckling and laughing so hard as
Mm-mm.
he walked and entered the room.
Oh my
So I'm
God.
paying attention to the reaction between the two pastors.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the one pastor that it asked why it sent you, why did they send you? He said, "You know why they sent me. I'm here with him because he was supposed to be. I don't know if it was supposed to be like I'm here just in case he can't do nothing with you kind of situation.
I got his back.
Oh, right. Or if it was supposed to be, because I don't know how you go into a deliverance training somebody else. I don't know how that works. But that's how I took it. I felt like he was training him, and this is the wrong place to train. But that's how I felt. So I was just like, I kept watching and paying attention to it, and then he said, "Go ahead and start." That's what he told the other pastor, the pastor that the thing laughed at. He said, "Go ahead and start." He said, "So."
Wait, the thing told him to go ahead and start.
No, the other pastor tells the other pastor to start.
Oh,
And so as the other pastor starts to pray the scriptures, the thing's still laughing. And I'm just sitting here looking at it like, oh, it's about to eat you alive because it's laughing at you. But when the other one started and he went to praying the scriptures and he was speaking it with authority, it started flinching and started tossing the girl all across the room because it didn't want to be dealt with by him. Then when he called it by its name, it tried to tear this girl apart.
You know me?
And he said, "You will not do it today."
And
And he just kept going and it kept going and he kept going. But when he took out the oil he had
oh, Jesus.
and he took the top off and slung the whole thing, you could just see the oil go in slow motion across the room. And when it hit it, she hit that ground and it was over. And so it showed me a whole lot as to what you can and can't do in deliverance sessions. After they walked out of the room, he pulled the other pastor to the side and he said, "You lied to me." He said, "Because you got sin, and that's the reason why you were ineffective."
But the other pastor knew who he was too.
And the other pastor, yeah. So it's just but at the end, that was the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Is when he looked at the other pastor and said, because of how they walked in the room and how the thing reacted to him, he looked at him and said, "You lied to me. You got sin. And that's the reason why you were ineffective. If you would have came alone, it would have ate you alive."
What's the name of the movie? Send it to me later.
Yeah, I had to send it to you because I got to go back and look. But I was just like, wow. And then right before they got to the next big, because he still wasn't done, that they still wouldn't let her go all the way. And the reason why I wouldn't let her go is because it was more than one. He only called out one.
Right.
But when they went back and they said, "Oh, you here for us again." When it makes itself plural, you're dealing with more than one. And so, no, just one of them knew what the spirit was. And so when it made itself plural,
right,
and it said it, yeah, "Oh, you back for us again. Yeah, you got rid of one of us. There's a whole lot of us that you got to go through to free her." That's what it said. And so it was just it was something. It was something to watch. And then it's like the one that had all the authority, he said, "Whatever you do, don't you ever make a deal with the imp to free another soul."
I know that's right.
And
why would you make a deal with the devil?
But that's what some of the pastors had previously done. Because it was other pastors, like when you watch it on the beginning, it's a whole room of pastors, and they all talking about who have done what in deliverance services. They having this big meeting about deliverance service, and they got like a list of names of people that had to be delivered, that need to be delivered, and so they will send them out 2 by 2, because they
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't let nobody go alone. They
Mm-hmm.
sent them out two by two to go have these deliverance services wherever the people were.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them was in their personal home. Some of them was in facilities
Mm-hmm.
because it was just that bad. And so that's what they would do. So a lot of them that were in the meeting though said the same thing. Don't you ever make a deal with one of them
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
to free a soul.
That's right.
Because the day that you make that deal, you might free that one soul, but it's gonna overtake yours.
That's right.
And so that was the thing that they were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So, but to wrap it up in a nutshell, the end goal was them legions wanted the pastor it was laughing at so it could infiltrate so they could infiltrate the church.
Mm. And that's what's happening today.
Right. And so they wanted that pastor they was laughing at so they could use him to
Mm-hmm.
infiltrate the church. And that's what they did.
That's definitely what is going
And
on
so
today.
it was one of the things that I just sat there and I watched that thing and I was like,
Yeah,
wow.
Simone, the transferring of spirits is so freaking
That's,
real.
yeah, that's real for real.
I mean, I had a pastor tell me one day, you cannot, a spirit can't be transferred through a hug. I said, that's a
Yes, it
bold
can.
faced lie.
That's a touch.
Exactly. Don't tell me. And I ain't hugging nothing that I ain't led to hug. Y'all know. Y'all already know. Don't touch me. I tell you up front in personal, I don't have a problem with it. Do not touch me. Mm-mm. You're going to have an issue. Don't
Yeah, I
touch me.
mean, I watched that thing and I was just thrown back. I said, okay. I said, this explains a lot.
A whole lot.
But it it seems like most of these types of scenarios that I've ever watched when I watch them in movie form, they're directed towards the Catholic Church.
Hmm.
And so I noticed that part.
But even in studying, a lot of people or mm, leaders that
Mhm.
make these deals want these demons. So a lot of times they will because they're not truly serving God anyway. So it is what it is.
It,
But
but when I tell you, it was just crazy. It was weird. It wasn't weird to watch. It was informative. Let me put it that way.
right.
And so I just sat there and I watched it, and I was like, okay, all right. I was like, this ain't the first time that I've seen something
Mhm.
like this. You know what I'm saying? And people think that you can't be infiltrated.
Yes, you can.
You can if you open the door for it.
That's right.
And so that's the biggest thing about it is people don't understand how easy it is to open the door.
Mhm.
When you compromise, you have just opened the door.
That's right.
When you have chose to be disobedient, you literally just open the door.
Mhm.
The little things we do opens doors.
Mhm.
And we have to understand, yes, a whole movie. Um and we have to understand that we have to be careful because we don't realize some of the doors that we open.
That's true.
And then once you open that door, it's hell to close it.
Mhm. But
it,
we not
it
going there today
yeah,
because what you hear, you're responsible for, and
right.
some of y'all ain't ready.
You right. You right. It's a whole lot of
So
responsibility.
that's why we only touch on certain stuff,
Certain things.
and
So
we don't go fully into a lot of
yeah,
things.
so it's a lot. Now I'm not telling you to go sit down and find a movie like that and watch it. That's not what I'm telling
Mm-mm.
you to do.
Mm-mm.
So please don't go do that because I don't need you putting nothing on yourself that you ain't got the authority to handle. All
Exactly.
right. So that's not what I'm telling you to do.
Mm-hmm.
Um
Even with some of these scary movies that y'all be watching, be careful. I'm just
yeah,
saying. I'm just saying. I do not watch scary movies at all.
I personally happen to be a horror movie fan.
I
But
don't.
If you one of them that after you watch that type of stuff, you go to having dreams and stuff, it's not for you to watch.
Mm-mm.
Okay. I know people that do that. When they go to watch certain types of stuff like that, they be having dreams about what they done seen in the movie.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's not for you.
Mm-mm.
So, but I mean, I said all of that to say this. You just have to be careful. We are in a season when things are literally being exposed. Hell,
Mhm.
I would rather you tell on yourself before one of them tell on you.
That part.
Period. You know what I mean? They ain't got no room. They ain't got
Mm.
nothing to stand on because you don't told on yourself,
That's
right?
right.
And so with me, I'm real transparent. If I have not liked you for the day and I told you about yourself, I'm gonna say I told you about yourself. So you know
Not like you for the day.
so I,
Well,
I'm being for real. So
yeah, because I'll tell a person I don't like them. So
every day you don't always feel up to dealing with people. And then when you are dealing with stuff, like I said in the beginning, don't take what you feel out on somebody that don't deserve it.
exactly.
There are days where your day just stuff just keep coming back to back to back. And when
Hmm.
the right person that's coming to check on you, coming
Hmm.
to you in the right manner, you go off in the wrong manner. Your
Right.
response ain't right. Why? Because you done had that type of a day, but it don't make it right. And
Exactly.
so that's the biggest thing about it is we have to be mindful. We have to watch ourselves.
Hmm.
We have to deal with ourselves and just go from there. That's the reason why it's very important to ask that your mind be renewed every day.
Every day.
Um, because it's one of them things that sometimes your day will make you feel like
Hmm.
your mind just be all over the place. And it happens. Am I saying this everyday occurrence? No. But it happens. And when it happens, can you handle it? Are you able to deal? Right? And so I've realized that a lot of times the reason why we ain't able to deal, why? Because we ain't praying. We not killing the flesh either.
Hmm.
Some of us ain't fasted about 8, 9 years.
Oh my God. Not
Call
8, 9 years.
you call you you call what this way you call fasting. I don't know what these new ways of people fasting is called these days. That you just feel like, okay, well, I'm not gonna eat for a few hours and I'm good. That's not fasting. That's you just chose not to eat.
Petty Betty.
That's not petty. I'm not being petty. I'm being for real. But it's not fasting. You just chose not to eat. Let's be real. So you supposed to fasting is doing away with whatever takes your time away from
Hmm.
God.
That's
Get
right.
closer to God. It's killing the stuff that your flesh like. That's
That's
fat,
right.
right? So let's just be real,
Hmm.
right? And me choosing not to eat McDonald's today ain't fasting. That's not what that is. So I could go without that because I really don't like their food anyway.
Right.
So it's the stuff that you seem like or feel like you can't do without, right? So that's what fasting is, and it's
Hmm.
also spending time with the Lord. So in your fasting time, you have to know what you're doing. You know if you fast the right way. You know if you fast the proper way.
Hmm.
So that's up to you. Can't nobody say what you do in your fasting time but you. All right. So I'm just saying that we have to be mindful of the stuff that we do because God ain't playing no games.
And
People,
can I say this about fasting? Because I do recognize that when we talk about certain things, people go and do it, and it's a blessing. But please study
yes,
on the fast that you choose,
yes,
and study why you are fasting, about why you're fasting. What is your reason for
for
fasting? You have to have a reason. You don't look, I get some people is like, I want to lose weight, so I'm gonna go fast. No, no, babies, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. That is not the reason to fast. Y'all talk about this intermittent fasting or whatever, however it's pronounced. don't do it. Okay? Please
Yeah.
don't. But study, figure out your purpose in fasting and go from there,
Yes.
because there are different types of
Constant
fast.
prayer.
And when
Yeah.
you open that door of fasting, whatever you're fasting for, trust me, you are going to go under attack because you're fasting.
Yeah.
And it's a spiritual thing. And the goal is to get closer to God. So, whatever's distracting you from God, it will show up. So, be careful.
Be careful.
And I'm not trying to discourage you from fasting, but I'm saying get the knowledge on it. Okay. That's all I'm saying. With that, we're going to shift because we're not going to keep it here long.
Okay.
We're
Hold
going to
on.
shift, guys.
Wait,
We're
hold
not
on.
going to be up here long. Um,
Hold
but
on.
huh? Like I said, uh, she got a phone call, y'all. She had to take. Like I said, we will be up here next Saturday, but I want to see out if y'all are here, say hey to us. Inbox Coco, say hey, or inbox me, say hey. I want to know that you're still out there, you're still watching. We're not going anywhere. Yes, we missed a few episodes because it's been a lot going on, but we are, as I said, randomly coming up. We don't have a specific time, but week by week, I'm going to give you the time that we're going to be up so that we can have a little bit of something scheduled. So this Saturday, we're going to be up at 11 a.m. And then on Sunday, we're going to be back at 7 p.m. And yes, Simone, I really appreciate you, my Bible scholar. um, my people perish for lack of knowledge. Hosea 4 and 6. Yes. And Troy, hey Coco.
Hey,
Hey Coco, hey Quinn. Hey Troy.
but yeah. So I mean, listen. The biggest thing that I just want y'all to take away is that be mindful of you.
Mm-hmm.
You, not the other folks. You. You got to deal with your response.
Mm-hmm.
You got to deal with how you act. You got to deal with your characteristic traits. And this is you. It's not
That's
about
right.
everybody else. I don't
Mm-hmm.
care what other folks do. You
Mm-hmm.
don't have to give them the energy that they trying to get from you.
That's right.
This is all a choice. And the thing of it is, I keep telling folks, if you want to see a change, you got to be the change you want to see.
That's right.
And so that's how it got to go. Like
Mm-hmm.
I literally, the things that I did not know how to do, that I felt I was not capable of doing, that's what I asked God for.
Mm-hmm.
If I told y'all a couple, like last year, maybe the year before that, that I didn't really care for people much. And so I asked him to give me love for folks, and he did that. Now I love people beyond measure. Period. I'll give you the shirt off my back if I could. But at the end of the day, that's something that I asked for. When I did not know how to deal with people gracefully, I asked for that. Now he has given me that. The things that I didn't know how to do, I asked for, and he's given. Now I'm gonna tell you one of them that just don't ever make the mistake of asking for patience, Jesus.
Don't do it.
Okay,
Don't do
don't
it.
don't
Don't
do
do
it. Don't do it. Because I promise you,
it.
the get to that point always gonna be tested, and every last bit
Mm-hmm.
of your nerve gonna get worked.
Mm-hmm.
But I have more patience now, though. Okay, but I'm telling you, I'm not telling you to go do that one. That's one
Don't do it.
to do.
I
Okay,
did that by accident. I didn't know it.
no,
Don't do it.
so
I
I
asked them for endurance to deal with the thing now. Don't,
yeah,
no.
don't
Mm-mm.
ask for patience, not okay. Because I'm telling you, your patience, all your patience gonna get worked.
Everything.
So don't do that. But I mean, the stuff that you don't know how to do, the stuff that you're not strong enough to do,
Mm-hmm.
that's what you take down.
That's right.
I say, okay, God, I may not understand. Give me the wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
Give me the wisdom for this.
Mm-hmm.
I need the wisdom for this. And that's what he did. And he gives me the wisdom for it. At the end of the day, again, it's about what you ask. I used to not understand what the older folks used to say when they say when you pray to God, just make sure you're not praying amiss. I get it now because
Mm-hmm.
it's what you ask him for.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be real careful what you ask him for
Mm-hmm.
because he will hand it to you.
That's right.
This may not be the way you like it,
Mm-hmm.
but he gonna give it to you.
Yeah.
Why? Because his word says that he will give it to you,
Mm-hmm.
including this wonderful thing that we call our heart's desire that everybody want to go to these days. The thing of it is, it might be something that your heart desire, but it may not be his will. And the problem that we have with it is that we don't like it when the heart desires don't get what they want.
I think Vanessa Bell Armstrong said it best when she asked for her heart's desire. She said, "Show me the desire of my heart."
Mhm.
Then she turned around and said, "You are the desire of my heart." She didn't go for material stuff.
No,
She did not know her heart's desire. So she said, "Show me." And she turned that thing around and said, "You," talking
listen,
about the Lord.
I have seen situations right here lately where people will call and say, "Hey, can you pray for me? Can you pray for such and such? This is the situation, da 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 da." Okay, but here's my problem with what you asking me to do. I understand what you want, but I'm always gonna ask for His will first,
Mm-hmm.
and then I will go into prayer. So
Mm-hmm.
don't get mad at me when
That's
you
right.
hear me redirected and say, "Okay, God, you know the need, you know the situation, but let Your will be done,"
Mm-hmm.
because it's always about His will,
Yeah, that's right.
right? And sometimes our desires and the wills don't match up,
Mm,
and it's gonna be like that sometimes.
that's right.
Sometimes your desire and His will is the same thing, but
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it don't match up. And in them
Hmm.
times where it don't match up, we can't get mad.
That's right.
We can't get upset. We can't go say, "Oh, you a liar, God." Da, 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 da. We know, no, no, because His
And,
word say that He don't lie.
mhm. And
That's
that's one of the biggest problems because a lot of times we pray selfishly,
yep,
and then when it don't go in our way, we are mad at God. Why are you mad at God?
yep.
Stop praying selfishly. That's not okay. I'm just saying. And then sometimes it's okay for you to be a little selfish. You praying about you. It's
Right.
not about anybody else in that moment. But don't pray a selfish prayer. Okay.
Mhm.
Once again, I said we shifting. Y'all see, Coco is trying to avoid the shift, right?
I'm trying to avoid the shift. I guess she's saying I ain't listening to the shift. I don't know. Maybe that's what she tried to say, yo.
But
You know?
guys, if you have a testimony or something like that, let us know what you've been up to. When you inbox Coco, let us know if God has done anything in your life, anything new. Let us know it. So
Yeah.
we're gonna have her. We're not doing questions once again. We are not doing questions tonight. But on Sunday we will have Q&A around 7 p.m. Okay?
Next week.
Next week
Next
Sunday.
Sunday coming.
Not this Sunday.
For those of you guys that are connected to my At His Table LLC page, tomorrow evening we will be having a nice little conversation. So my live tomorrow evening is going to be about what is your relationship with money.
Hmm.
Okay.
I'll be at work. What time is it?
Um, Probably around about 4 or 5 ish.
Okay, I'll listen in a little bit.
So
No Q&A tonight. Exactly, Simone. Fred, not questions, Fred, as you put it.
so, uh, tomorrow evening, y'all stay tuned because we are going to talk about your relationship with money on my business page. So make sure you tune in over there if you are connected to the page. If not, when I go live, I'll share it. Um, as far as any testimonials tonight, I don't think we have any. Everything literally is questions.
Okay. So we're
Um,
not gonna do
of course,
questions.
that may change before next week, but right now we have all questions. Listen, we already told you we was gonna get you up here on the Q&A night, so you might want to stop.
Right,
Yeah.
Fred. Before we pull your
And I,
behind
I
up
need
here
I
and
need
take
you
like
to I
two.
need you to be ready when they come with it. How about it?
Exactly. So,
So but no, I mean I don't know you guys. It's just really all about just preparing yourself for where you trying to be. Right now, I'm not complacent and I'm definitely not content. You know
mhm,
what I mean? I know that there's higher heights, deeper depths for me to go, and that's what I'm reaching for. That's what I'm aiming for, and that's where I'm headed. You know what I mean? So I
mhm.
know that that comes with change,
That's right.
and so you have to be ready for the change. You got to accept the change and
Hmm.
all of that type of stuff. Okay, it's next week, so just be ready. We'll send y'all the link. Um,
Hmm.
And so but you got to be ready for the change, man. Like God is changing us daily.
Hmm.
There's something about you changing literally every day. You may not think it is, but it is.
And can I say, in being ready for the change, you got to be flexible, because if you're not and you're just stuck in your own way,
Yeah.
it's not going to work for you. So it's so important to be flexible, because you may have a strategy and the goal remains the same, but
Yeah.
sometimes the strategy has to change a little bit because you didn't meet the goal in the time that you wanted to. So it's so important, for you to be a little bit flexible.
It'll be 7 p.m. next Sunday, Simone. Right, Fred. There
Mhm.
greater places for us to be, and it ain't where we at right now.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? There's more stuff for us to do, more people for us to reach,
Hmm.
or more impacts to be made, and
Hmm.
can't do it staying stuck where you at.
Exactly.
So that's the biggest takeaway that I have. Um,
And don't be scared to take a risk, because as the doors are opening, you cannot fear walking through it. Walk through that door. God didn't give you a spirit of fear, but power, love, and a sound mind. And there are a lot of doors that are being open right now.
but
You have to know which one
just
is
make
for
just
you.
make sure you know that it's the door that he opened.
Exactly. You have to know which one is for you. You have to know which one you're supposed to walk through. And that takes prayer. Don't accept every invitation. You're not supposed to be everywhere. Some of them are distractions, but, and He will show you.
Some of them are distractions, some of them are traps.
Yes,
So just be careful as to what you are agreeing to
exactly.
in this season. Um, it's been a lot of, can you come here? Can you come there? We would like to have you here. And there's a lot of, I appreciate, but I can't.
Hmm.
And you have to do that. And it's not because you just don't. If God didn't say it, there's no
Hmm.
doing it. You kind of know when you're supposed to do something. Like you know that you're being prepared for something, just
Hmm.
not sure what you're being prepared for. So
Exactly.
you kind of know when it's something that you really have to gear yourself up for.
Hmm.
So at the end of the day, just be mindful of what you say yes and no to.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay. So, Coco, check one more time, because we're getting ready to get up off here. It's 11:03. We're going to check one more time for any testimonies. And we're going to get ready to shut this down. And we will see y'all next Saturday at 11 a.m. That's right, Fred. We are to move in intention and to pray with that same intention. Absolutely.
All right, but that's half of the issue. People ain't praying. So that's a whole nother day. But no, nothing. All questions still.
Okay.
Um,
So we're
but
going to get
we
off here.
are gonna get off of here. We love y'all though.
Yeah.
We always appreciate y'all for coming and hanging out
Mm-hmm.
and all of that good stuff. So next Sunday it'll be us, and then we're gonna have Fred and Simone tagging in too as
Yeah.
well. So they'll be with us on next Sunday evening at 7 o'clock promptly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we might even start it at 6. We'll keep y'all posted because y'all in these questions, y'all ain't gonna keep me up all night.
At
So,
all.
so we may even do it at 6 o'clock, but right now we're gonna say 7. If we decide to change it, we'll let y'all know. Plus, y'all will see it. It'll come up as the event on the page.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Other than that, again, if y'all, we told y'all, I think last year we started it. We said that if y'all got topics that y'all would like for us to talk about, to let us know about the topics. Just don't come left field because they just some things that we don't address up here. All right. So if there's some topics that y'all would like for us to open up and talk about, let us know. Send it to us in the inbox. Hit us on the hip if you got our phone numbers, all that good stuff, so that we can talk about those topics as well. Um, you say you just realized that you might have to work. Hey, always the next time, right? So just let
And,
us know. Just let us know to be sure, and
and
we'll
once
go
again,
from there.
yeah, and once again, those of you that may have businesses and want to come up, hit
Yeah.
us up. If you have been touched by the ministry, yes, this is a ministry. If you have been touched by the ministry and you want to come up here and give your testimony about how you were touched, you are more than welcome. So, with that being said, we love you. Walk in your destiny and have a blessed night.